YouTubers, Facebookers, party people alike. This is Clay with the Clay Way and Clay's AC and Auto Repair here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Today we're going to be replacing the transmission pan on a 2010 Jeep Liberty. It's going to be the same thing for all Jeep Liberties, and if you own a Jeep Liberty or a Commander, you need to look underneath it and see if your transmission pan is rusted out, and take your hand and just rub it across there and you'll feel transmission fluid coming out of there. Now I never noticed any drips on the ground with this, but this is a very common problem. We replace quite a few of these on Jeep Liberties, so forth and so on. Remember, if anybody else can do it, you can do it too.
2010 Jeep Liberty, we're going to be changing out the transmission pan. The old one rotted out, so we're going to take care of it before it starts leaking. Won't need too many tools for this job. You're just going to need a hammer, some kind of a small pry bar that you'll be able to wedge between the transmission and the pan to break the seal loose, and a 10mm deep well socket. Maybe a little extension too. We're using a screw gun, just makes it quick. Today is the fluid pan. That way when we drain the transmission fluid out, you're not making a big mess. You can use any kind of an oil drain pan that you got laying around. We're going to start by removing the 10mm bolts all the way around the perimeter of the pan. And after we do that, we're going to take that wedge and we're just going to kind of gently hammer in through here and pry the pan loose. Now you want to leave a couple of the bolts back here to allow the pan to drop down, because there is no drain plug on the factory pan. Our new one, however, does have a drain plug. And very important is you got to make sure you know the orientation of the pan. It only goes on one direction. Small pry bar, flathead screwdriver, just some type of thin wedge that'll wedge right up in between here. And you're just going to kind of gently tap on it and kind of in several places just crack the seal loose. Once you crack the seal loose, the pan will want to drop down and it'll start spilling fluid down into your drain. Your old oil pan off. You're going to look down, and you're going to see a small depression. There's a little disc in there. That disc is a little magnet. It catches all the metal debris. Clean that magnet off, it'll just pop right off. And you're going to take that magnet, and you come over here and put it right there on your new pan, and it'll just stick right there. Our new pan to go in, and you're going to get some RTV Ultra Black, and you're going to put a nice little bead all the way around. Make sure you get around each hole, and that way it's all sealed off. And then you're gonna go back in and you're gonna clean all the old transmission fluid, wipe the surface down before you put the pan up. Once you're ready, you place the pan up in place, and just start a couple bolts on opposite ends just to hold it up, and then feed all your bolts in before you tighten any of them down. It's very important that you do that. That way you won't have misalignment issues, and you can be able to hand screw all the bolts. Pan up here now. I've put in all the bolts just loosely. None of them are tightened. And you're going to go back through and torque each one down to about right around 10 foot-pound of torque. You want to keep everything even so that way you don't have any weak spots and it seals up real good. Now, to find out how many quarts of fluid you need to replace, you can go online and decode your VIN, and from there you can figure out which transmission is in your vehicle, unless you already know. Some transmissions only take 4 to 4.5 quarts when you do a pan replacement. Others can take up to 8.5 quarts. So it's very important that you replace the amount of fluid, because you don't want to overfill it either. Now, with me, I've got an actual service dipstick for the Chrysler transmissions, because you'll notice that the transmission dipstick tube is blocked off with a service plug. And if you're lucky, you can go out to your local junkyard, like we have around here, Weller Self-Serve, and find yourself a dipstick that's in a Jeep Liberty or a Cherokee that has the 3.7 or 4.7 liter V6 and V8. The dipsticks are the same. So if you find one of those, you can actually replace that service port with the actual dipstick, or just keep it in your garage. And you fill it up as well.
So you just got done watching Cameron and Jeff replace the transmission pan in my 2010 Jeep Liberty. I hope the video was helpful. I know Jeff is super descriptive. He does a great job of explaining stuff to you. Remember, you can't break what's already broken, so you might as well try to fix it. Don't be the next to them, be the first to you. Give me a subscribe. Click the notifications, share my videos. If you got a question for me, I'll be happy to try to answer them. Hit me up on Clay's AC and Auto Repair on the Facebook. Have a great day. God bless.